so much. I don't know anything about editing, so this is like a huge help for me.
Yeah, no problem. You know, acting reels are generally pretty easy. And you've already pulled your favorite clips?
Yeah, so right in here.
It's clear now more than ever that a change is needed in our government.
Right there. Yeah, like that's a good crying moment. Like shows I have a range, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this is news coverage.
Yeah, this is like a candlelight vigil that I did. It was actually pretty moving.
Is this a mockumentary? Or...
Oh no. This is real. This is like very real. I'm a crisis actor.
What's that? What's a crisis actor?
No.
No.
Whenever there's a crisis, like a school shooting or 9/11 or like the Titanic, they need actors to play the victims because the real victims are busy like mourning and like they're not very good actors on camera and like they not trained to push an agenda. So that's what we do. Yeah, so this is like my first featured speaking role. This was a big deal for me.
Figure this all out.
He just came in and it was just bang, 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 bang. And I didn't know, it sounded like firecrackers at first. But then it was like, oh my God, he's shooting. It's awful.
And you can see the friends.
Is this your full-time job?
Well, I'm still waiting tables part-time, but I think like I'm about to hit it because I can play college, I can still pass for high school. Like, I just got new headshots that my crisis acting agent is loving. So check this out. I'm getting a phone call. Check this out. Hello? Are you serious? No way. Wow, I'm speechless. Okay, so the yearbook photo's on Wednesday and they're flying me out on Friday. Wow. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Cast.com. It's a company that specializes in staged crisis events. Let's look at the About section. Our specially trained professional role-play actors and internationally accredited film crews bring realistic, informed crisis management and disaster incidents to life. We are able to use specialist film techniques and disciplines to bring the best of theater and film to our live, immersive simulations. Crisis events. We rehearse and deliver highly credible, immersive crisis events which we can film and supply as interactive training tools. Let's scroll down here. These are some of the main positions that run the show. Emergency Services Advisor, Behavioral Psychologist, Production Manager, Cohort Wrangler, aka the Handler. So come on over to this website and have a look around. Let's go back to the Home tab and scroll down. Clients and Associates. What's this? G4S? Isn't that the company Omar Mateen works for? Oh yeah, it is. So now we have a huge connection to a crisis acting company. These things are out there, people. Look, here's another one. Flashpoint reality-based training. And another, Magnum Services, Casualty Simulation Specialists. Look at that logo.
I'm not a crisis actor. Guys, I'm not an actor. I witnessed this event.
David Hogg was in school when the shooting started. His father is a retired FBI agent, so he recognized immediately that this was a gun. This wasn't a firecracker, this wasn't a drill. His teacher ushered him into a closet as the shooting was taking place. He thought to himself, if he and his classmates die in this closet, what would their stories be? What would we know about them? So here's what he did.
Once my phone hits 30, I'm done recording.
So what's your message?
I really don't think there's anything new to say, but there shouldn't have to be, because if you looked around this closet and saw everyone just hiding together, you would know that this shouldn't be happening anymore, and that it doesn't deserve to happen to anyone, and that no amount of money should make it more easily accessible to get guns. And that's that.
This is Alex's view. This recording was taken at 9:32, February 14th, 2018. Alex, are you okay with me recording this?
Yes, I am okay with you recording this.
Okay.
I personally have rallied for
you know, gun rights and how less control, not necessarily less control, but this experience has definitely changed my viewpoints. I wanted to be a junior NRA member. I wanted to learn how to hunt. I was always fascinated by guns as a young girl, but this experience was so traumatizing to the point where now I can't even fathom the idea of a gun in my house or on my bodice. I did have plans for my 18th birthday to go to Nexus gun range and learn how to shoot. But at this point, I don't even want to be behind a gun. I don't want to be the person behind a bullet because I don't want to be the person to point a bullet at someone. And to have the bullet pointed at me, my school, my classmates, my teachers, my mentors, it's definitely eye-opening to the fact that we need more gun control in our country, because for this to happen and for people to be so neutralized to it, I even texted my sisters, shooting at my school, I am safe. They both responded with, OMG, LOL, you're funny. Now that's a problem in society, and it's a bigger problem in America, and it needs to be fixed. And I believe the most definite way to fix it is by changing our laws when it comes to gun ownership.
His role was starkly revealed when the Newsweek media group failed to check the content of Hogg's interview, where he states that the time of Alex View's gun control rant is at 9:32 in the morning, nearly 5 hours before the alleged shooting.
This is Alex View. This recording was taken at 9:32, February 14th, 2018. I am the son of a former FBI agent, and that is true. But as such, it is also true that I go to Stoneman Douglas High School.
Like, he's not even supposed to be in our school. He's like 25 and he's from California, even though he's my debate partner. What the hell? Shocking. Alright. Really? Like, he's not even supposed to be in our school. He's like 25 and he's from California, even though he's my debate partner. What the hell?
Because we had a fire alarm earlier that day, and that was a drill, so we thought this was a drill too, just another one. Because we have a lot of fire alarms, a lot of fire drills at the school. After we heard the first gunshot, we initially thought it was a drill. Actually, that was a bad choice. Hold on,
it's okay, you're fine.
Actually, that was a bad choice because the janitor, sorry.
It's okay, you're fine, David, you're fine.
Honestly, when I was going out, I was kind of in, I wasn't, hold on.
It's okay.
When I was going out, I was in shock.
Yeah, same, I don't know how to put this in perspective. It's okay.
So most of my friends that made it out, one of them went into a bathroom in the same, I believe in the same hallway as the shooter. Oh, hold on.
It's okay.
One of them went into the same bathroom, I believe, as the hallway shooter. He was in there at the same time, and he was in the bathroom, and he didn't know if he was going to live.
Child of God is dead. Cannot we acknowledge in this country that we cannot accept this? I can't do it, Wolf. I'm sorry. We can't do it.
Sorry. Oh. Gary, thank you. I'm sorry. It's just Congressman Ted Deutsch helped me out of Florida here, who represents the district. Just hearing that mother, I'm sorry. It got me.
We've been reporting about the tragedy and the horror, but also the confusion. Some students telling me they thought this was a drill, that there had been a fire alarm earlier in the day, and that they had been told a few weeks ago that there would be an active shooter drill, but never did they imagine it would turn out to be the real thing.
Yep. What you are watching is exclusive footage from NBC News of an active shooter drill. It's the 13th such drill the school district has staged in the past year. And the victims are students, all volunteers.
Because they told us that they were going to have like fake, and have people being taken away and like have them scream or whatever. So I was like it must be
like in
fake.
A school drill? Like,
yeah,
is that
like a drill?
I was just thinking of places I would hide or run if in the scenario that had ever happened. I couldn't think of any.
Look, they could be practicing a code red. They talked about doing this. They even talked about police coming on and, shooting blanks, to see what would happen,
And schools all across the country, from Texas to Indiana to Oregon, have staged the kind of drill you are seeing here.
And then I ran past the office and I saw more people dead, like kids I see in choir every day. And it was starting to get to me, and then I saw the gunman like right in front of me, and I stopped and I meant to run, but I was kind of frozen in my spot, and he shot me, and I was like, I died, so.
It has been to send adults playing the role of homicidal gunmen into schools. It has been to teach kids the best way to shield their bodies from the bullets. This is duck and cover for a new generation. But of course, our old Cold War adversaries are gone. The enemy now is within.
This is being sold as countering propaganda, but how do you do that? After all, if government agencies put out information to the public for the sake of altering a point of view, isn't that the very definition of propaganda? In fact, that definition is this: information, ideas, or rumors deliberately spread widely to help or harm a person, a group, a movement, an institution, a nation, etc. So this law essentially funds U.S. propaganda, but isn't that illegal? It was, but no, not anymore, because 3 years ago, wrapped inside the 2013 NDAA, was an amendment that removed the ban on the U.S. government creating propaganda and then showing it to U.S. citizens. That ban, by the way, had been in place since 1948. The 2013 amendment struck down a ban on domestic dissemination of propaganda material produced by the State Department and the Independent Broadcasting Board of Governors. It neutralized the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 and the Foreign Relations Authorization Act in 1987 that had been passed to protect U.S. audiences from our own government's misinformation campaigns. And in 2013, when that bill was passed, most media said, oh, don't worry, the U.S. government will never actually create propaganda. Well, now they've created a mechanism to fund it. So what you need to know is that politicians claiming we need to fund U.S. government propaganda to protect the public from the Russians and from the Chinese. But there's a reason it was illegal for over 60 years for our government to propagandize the public, to protect the public from our own government. Reality check. Right now, 2 out of every 3 Americans in the latest polls say they have little to no trust in mainstream American media, because 2/3 of Americans already believe that they're not getting the truth. That number will likely only get worse with the legalized American government propaganda. So what is the solution here? Well, how about media just tells the truth, just reports facts, does not act as an arm for political parties or for government institutions? If we want to combat propaganda, both foreign and domestic, then shouldn't we just inform the public rather than trying to control their views?
I'm not a crisis actor. Guys, I'm not an actor. I'm trying to be an activist.
David has become an icon of the children's crusade, appearing on many TV shows. But today, he is the target of a nasty conspiracy theory.
Now only on 2, it's a confrontation that's making waves. A Redondo Beach lifeguard and a teenage boogie boarder get in a heated argument, and it's all caught on video.
David Hogg says his 17-year-old friend put his boogie board on this beach trash can. When a lifeguard asked him to move it, he did. But then the situation took a turn.
He said, I didn't know it was a crime to put your board on the trash can, because he just didn't want it to get sandy.
Social media is erupting with tens of thousands of claims that David and other outspoken students are so-called crisis actors, hired to pose as victims.
YouTube had to take down a video today that, unfortunately, for a brief period of time, was the #1 trending video on YouTube. And that #1 trending video helped spread this false narrative that the students who are protesting for better gun regulation are not in fact students from Parkland, Florida, but that they are child actors who are just trying to stir the pot and who are paid by people like George Soros.
He said, I didn't know it was a crime to put your board on the trash can, because he just didn't want it to get sandy.
So
they're like, aha, he's not actually from Florida, he's from California. And then we're gonna make up a quote about how he always wanted to be an actor. And whenever there's a crisis, lifeguard, shooting, crisis, he became a crisis actor. And unfortunately, there's a lot of gullible people.
David posted the video on YouTube and in just a couple of days has gone viral.
We felt threatened, we felt we're just worried, and he seemed unpredictable.
Aha! Okay, we have connected the dots. No, you haven't. It turns out he was on vacation in California and that happened. It has nothing to do with anything.
I witnessed this event. Why are you guys doing this to me?
Do something! Action! We need it now!
I'm not a crisis actor. Guys, I'm not an actor. I'm trying to be an activist. I am the son of a former FBI agent, and that is true. But as such, it is also true that I go to Stoneman Douglas High School, and I was a witness to this.
And people running
and everyone was just, we all thought it was a fire drill because we had one previously today. And we thought it was that, so no one was that nervous, but then when word started going around that it was shots and not just like something else, then everyone just started running towards the canal. We all thought it was a fire drill because we had one previously today.
I am the son of a former FBI agent, and that is true.
This is an attempt to discredit and dismiss the student survivors. There are some people, these trolls that are making up these stories that do not want to hear what these students have to say.
Basically, this video was a clip of David Hogg speaking to a local news affiliate years ago about an incident he saw on the beach. So YouTube's algorithms look at that and say, okay, this is a legitimate news source. Then they look at the caption to the video. The caption said, David Hogg, the actor. Well, there's nothing inherently harassing about those words. For some people, that's just a fact. For some people, it's a compliment. And YouTube's algorithms don't have all the context to know that, in fact, David Hogg is the survivor of a school shooting.
David, first of all, that Donald Trump Jr. is liking tweets espousing a conspiracy theory involving you and your dad. I'm wondering what goes through your mind when you hear that?
I'm just so sorry that these people have lost their faith in America, because I know I certainly haven't. The fact that these people refuse to believe that something like this could happen is something that all of us don't want to believe, but the sad truth is that it is. These people saying this is absolutely disturbing, and I'm not an actor in any sense, way, shape, or form.
In the moment I wasn't, because there was definitely another shooter involved, but...
Oh, you think he was not the only one?
No, definitely not.
So you think there was more than, do you think there was more than one
There's
shooter?
3 shooters.
Definitely.
I actually was speaking to the suspect, Nicholas Cruz.
Authorities say 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz was heavily armed with a bulletproof vest, loads of ammunition, and a powerful AR-15 bought legally a year ago and hidden in a rifle case.
Cruz was arrested nearby without incident, to the relief of parents wondering if their loved ones were safe.
And this is just absolutely pure evil.
And Cruz was taken to a hospital immediately after the shooting, but then taken to jail for questioning. He was a former student at the school and was expelled for disciplinary reasons.
A child of God is dead. Cannot we acknowledge in this country that we cannot accept this? I can't do it, Wolf. I'm sorry. We can't do it.
Sorry. Ooh. Gary, thank you. I'm sorry. It's just Congressman Ted Deutsch, help me out, of Florida here, who represents the district. Just hearing that mother, I'm sorry. Just, it got me.
He was the partner to Louise. He was 37. Antonio Devon Brown was a captain. Excuse me.
President Trump, you say, what can you do? You can stop the guns from getting into these children's hands. Put metal detectors at every entrance to the schools. What can you do? You can do a lot. This is not fair to our families that our children go to school and have to get killed. I just spent the last 2 hours putting the burial arrangements for my daughter's funeral, who's 14. President Trump, please do something. Do something. Action! We need it now. These kids need safety now.
There is speculation the Russians may be fueling the conspiracy theory to spread discord in America.
The intelligence community has been very clear that Russia continues to try to exploit divisions in the U.S. and try to turn us against one another.
My father is a retired FBI agent. I'm not working with him or anybody else on this. I'm speaking from my heart. I was a witness to this. I'm not a crisis actor. I'm not a crisis actor.
What's going on? What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the Where the am I? Holy what happened?
Shut up. Just be quiet, man.
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What happened?
Shut up. Just be quiet.
Multiple people dead and many others injured. And once again, you're looking at live pictures right now, live aerial photos right now, as they are about to take that suspect out of that ambulance.
Go ahead and take the shot now. You can see that we got a better angle here.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
I want to tell the world right now anything that you need to get through this.
Just keep praying. I'm not a very religious person or whatever, and whatever religion you are, no matter what you believe, just send it whatever our way. We all need it. We all need something. We all need that hope. Just keep praying for us. We all need it.
I'm fine. I was shot 4 times in my back. Thankfully, they just went straight through.
This is a club that nobody wants to be in. And please, could we do something with the assault weapons so that we could stop this club from ever getting any new members?
Guys, run! Go! He's coming out this door!
My name is Susan Orfanos. My son was Tel Orfanos. We lost him last night at the borderline shooting. My son was in Las Vegas with a lot of his friends and he came home. He didn't come home last night, and I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers. I want gun control. No more guns. Thank you.
So I texted him and called him and came right here to the hospital. And we've been waiting since 4 this morning. I just wanted to say though that this is a club that nobody wants to be in. And please, could we do something with the assault weapons so that we could stop this club from ever getting any new members? I beg all of you, please. I wanted to let you know about my son. When he was in high school, he started the Gay Straight Alliance. And he won the Anna Frank Humanitarian Award.
to bring gays and straights together.
I think there's a hint of desperation about you. I really do.
Now here's some footage of her that reminds me of A Requiem for a Dream. It's like that old woman that she has some loose screws and she wants to be on television.
Hi, I'd like to be on Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd be a great contestant because I'm a lot of fun and other people would enjoy watching me win or solve or try to solve all the puzzles. I live in Central Florida. I have 2 kittens called Mickey and Minnie, but they're cats. This is the 3rd time I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune.
I never thought I'd be on television. I'm going to be on television. I got a call and an application. I'm telling you, I'm going to be a contestant on television. Everybody likes me.
This is hate! These are fucking assholes!
But I don't know where my son is. No one can tell me where my son is.
You are a joke!
My son was in Las Vegas with a lot of his friends and he came home.
And I'm disgusted! I'm a professor! How dare you! How dare you fucking assholes protect neo-Nazis!
If he's been shot, if he's dead, no one knows. But they told me there are fatalities.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
He didn't come home last night, and I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers.
These are kids who are trying to learn about humanity! They're trying to learn about human rights and against racism and xenophobia and LGBTQ rights, and you're letting these fucking neo-Nazis near here! You should kick their ass!
But he was sitting right next to his boyfriend, and his boyfriend definitely was shot with multiple gunshots and taken in the ambulance.
You should be ashamed of yourselves! You should! Fuck that shit! Fuck that shit! It's not up to these students to kick the ass of a neo-Nazi!
I want gun control. No more guns!
They don't have to raise their fists! They were taught to be peaceful! Fuck you! Fuck you!
It's coming from a professor.
I'm a professor!
She's a professor! Hey guys, she's a professor!
And you're here to protect neo-Nazis! So fuck you! Fuck you, NYPD!
Especially as it pertains to school shootings. Right. Do you think that reinstating the ban on assault weapons and banning high-capacity magazines would do any good?
Yes, I do.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Also, none of the 12 people killed in a Colorado movie theater made the list.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek. Newtown.
But not one of the 26 people killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School made the list.
Newtown.
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 But not one of the 26 people killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School made the list.
How many more classrooms?
But not one of the 26 people killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School made the list.
How many more movie theaters?
Also, none of the 12 people killed in a Colorado movie theater made the list.
Robbie Parker, I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen up.
Okay. So my name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
Robbie Parker, I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen up.
Okay. So
My name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
Robbie.
If you can control the situation depending on your photographer, and I have very good photographers, no, I don't.
How young?
Sorry, I don't.
How young was the youngest victim?
Sorry, I don't.
How young was the youngest?
How young was the youngest? And I believe everybody except the assailant and his mother will be finished tonight, and I'll do those tomorrow morning. Anything else on there? No, sir. No. And our, I think a lot of our, they're up all on the second floor, and I didn't get there today.
Sir.
And it's, my sensibilities may not be the average man. It's a good thing it's not being prosecution, because then I couldn't answer that. But all the ones that I know of at this point were caused by the long weapon.
So the rifle was the primary weapon?
Yes.
And what caliber were the bullets?
Question was, what caliber were these bullets? And I probably know more about firearms than most pathologists, but if I say it in court, they yell at me and don't make me answer, so I'll let the police do it. We're all going to have to look at the spreadsheet when we pass it out. I'm sorry.
Did the gunman kill himself with the rifle?
No. I don't know yet. I'll examine him tomorrow morning.
Precision from the shooter, or was it spread sort of randomly?
Both? It's a very difficult question to answer. Okay. You'd think after the thousands of people I've seen shot, I could answer that question, but if I attempted to answer it in court, there'd be an objection and they'd win.
When they came to you, what were they wearing?
They're wearing cute kid stuff.
Doctor, the children that you autopsied, where on the body were those wearing?
All over.
How many boys and how many girls?
I have no idea. It's H. Wayne, W-A-Y-N-E. Carver, C-A-R-V-E-R. And it's the second. And that's why I don't use the H, because when my father asked my grandfather, he said, fine, but as long as you never call him Harold. So. It wasn't a tent, it was this magnificent thing. We have 3 vehicles and a lot of guys that drive them. We're actually, one of the highlights of my administration is that we make them as nondescript and unmarked as possible. It's to foil you guys.
Located that you don't have evidence.
I just.
You don't know. You haven't checked it yet.
It wasn't a tent. It was this magnificent thing. No, I don't.
How young?
Sorry, I don't.
How young was the youngest victim?
thing I remember was an explosion, and I collapsed. I don't remember.
We went to a speech, and a big bomb explosion went off.
It definitely felt real.
I was like, help me.
As people were trying to respond to a terrible tragedy, it got my own emotions going about something like this.
What happened this morning is it's November 11th, it was Veterans Day, and we had a domestic terrorist incident. You know, we had a congressman, representative out here, you know, just giving the speech and thanking everybody for the service, you know, civilians and military alike. And a bomb happened to go off, and from there it was pure chaos until individuals and units started arriving and taking control of the scene.
Hey guys, please don't cross these lines. Bring everybody through the corner. Roger, roger. Thank you.
Well, initially, University of Colorado Health Science Center Anschutz campus came to us, and they wanted to conduct a joint training between their emergency room residents and our paramedic students.
The Community College of Aurora, in conjunction with the University of Colorado Anschutz campus, wanted to test and train some of their personnel in the response of blast and fragmentation injuries, something they don't see on a daily basis.
We already had the residents in place. Then it was just a matter of contacting all the different local agencies, bringing them together, identifying the people that wanted to play, identifying the different resources that were necessary that would really respond to a situation like this, and inviting them out. Then it was all logistics after that.
I think what first struck me was the realism of the scenario. The number of victims, the odors, etc., all lent a great deal of realism to this exercise. So it was very easy, I think, for all of the participants to forget that it was an exercise and to react as if it were a real incident.
And what people go through in these situations, it just kind of humbles you a little bit.
If I was going to look on from the outside, it definitely seemed real.
And people are plugging in, they're playing for real. So I think people gave it all that they had, and that's what you would want in a real emergency.
It's going to be pretty epic. There's going to be a lot of things going on, and it's going to be a really good practice for the EMS students.
First responders typically, I think, fall into a routine of things that they do on day-to-day calls to where they apply a particular skill set. And exercises like this can force people to stretch, regardless of their role.
I know that we've had crowd control training in our police academy, and to see how it works and how valuable and how effective it is really great. I guess I never realized how tight everyone worked together as a team, all the EMS, all the firefighters, police.
You have different fire departments working together as a unit, and you have the crews that are first on scene, and you have people that were in the EMS division taking care of the patients, moving them from point A to point B.
And then to pull this off where you can see where the team response was good or the team response was not so good, that's what it's all about, is to learn to work together as a team to save lives.
An infant that's breathing 10 times a minute with massive head trauma, can we save him? Because everybody jumped on that little kid, had a backboard, a seat collar, 2 medics working on an infant. That's tough, but no, we can't. And we're trying to do the most amount of good for the most amount of people.
Hold the line!
They're pregnant women, they're dying. We'll get to them as soon as we can. We'll get to them as soon as we can.
The students that participated and the volunteers, they did a very good job. They were given scripts to follow, and they followed them.
The guys at the triage did a really good job of prioritizing the people and examining, the people that are screaming and how bad they're doing.
I think it went well. There are some things they could do better, but they have obvious support across agencies and up and down the chain of command. So all the elements are there for a successful program here.
I think that the success of this event was a collaborative effort between the student body and the leadership at Community College of Aurora, the fire departments, the private ambulance agencies. Additionally, we had the private sector, the private corporate sector that participated by bringing in a lot of their different products, which also helped to make this training a phenomenal success.
Addition of the protesters brought a aspect to it that we've never seen before in a drill that made it more exciting and more real.
You know, we had film students, we had film actors, we had theater actors.
The acting students, you could tell they really got into it. The protesters looked like they were having way too much fun. So they did well, and that's a true asset.
Then we had to go to a moulage class where they actually taught us how to put on our makeup and stuff.
And they learn from real paramedics, you know, people who see this stuff on a day-to-day basis. So they know what looks real and they know what doesn't look real.
This is called steel wool. And pretty much so you dip it in your blood and then you just and it makes a nice, cool scratched effect.
It's kind of weird, restricted. You feel sticky and dirty and nasty, and I can't wait. It's going to be so fun to take off.
If you lose a finger, it hurts. So part of it is you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? You're part of it is in your acting.
It hurts so bad.
I think the actors were amazing. It would have been an incomplete event without the actors. And I think the level of acting helped the first responders fall into their roles more realistically, and it provided a very high quality training.
When your face gets burned off, it's going to smell, you smell smoke, but that's coming from like a wood fire. What happens when the flesh is starting to burn? It's a different smell. It doesn't smell quite as pleasant.
They had a box that they brought in, the only one in the world that they flew in from Germany, and the box would deliver simulated smells into the area. They could hold up to 6 different smells at one time.
I did have smell placed on me, so I do have a urine smell on me.
It included, you know, scents like vomit, scents like burnt flesh.
Body odors, urine, feces.
And the smells were embedded in those parts that they were able to attach to our students. So it added a huge degree of reality to the entire exercise.
The fact that the college was willing to try something on this scale, you know, I think we made good benefit of it.
I get out of it that, you know, not to take a situation like this lightly.
So the benefit, I think, is huge. Suspension in disbelief and the real life relevance piece, that the first responders, the paid professionals that actually responded, really bought into this. So we had our students learning alongside acting students that were just as realistic almost as any victim you could ever find. And it just created a very rich quality experience for our students all the way around.
Well, there's an old saying, what we do the least, we should practice the most. And nobody really typically has the resources available to stage these exercises on this scale routinely. So it's a nice opportunity to actually practice things that we do every day and apply them to a much larger scale.
Practicing this way is a really great way to keep the training alive, to keep people fresh. The reason it's important to go to this type of extent is we can sit around and we can sit at a table, we can say, well, if this happens, this is what we do. You know, we would just have our tabletop discussions. Having it like this just adds a little bit more realism.
To get all this experience, it only helps for the next situation when it's not a mock situation, it's a real situation that we got to prepare for.
The most important thing that I think we got out of this is that this could happen today or tomorrow. The reality in the times that we live in, that we have to be prepared, and you can't handle a situation like this by yourself as a fire department, but it's going to take multiple agencies in order to be successful.
I think that, you know, the value of this kind of training is you can't put a price on this kind of training.
Cast.com. It's a company that specializes in staged crisis events. Let's look at the About section. Our specially trained professional role-play actors and internationally accredited film crews bring realistic, informed crisis management and disaster incidents to life. We are able to use specialist film techniques and disciplines to bring the best of theater and film to our live, immersive simulations. Crisis events. We rehearse and deliver highly credible, immersive crisis events which we can film and supply as interactive training tools. Let's scroll down here. These are some of the main positions that run the show. Emergency Services Advisor, Behavioral Psychologist, Production Manager, Cohort Wrangler, aka the Handler. So come on over to this website and have a look around. It has everything you need for a staged event like we're witnessing in Orlando. I'm not saying this is the company, but it's a company just like it, guaranteed. Let's go back to the Home tab and scroll down. Clients and Associates. What's this? G4S? Isn't that the company Omar Mateen works for? Oh yeah, it is. So now we have a huge connection to a crisis acting company. These things are out there, people. Look, here's another one. Flashpoint reality-based training. And another, Magnum Services, Casualty Simulation Specialists. Look at that logo.